On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk about 12 million downloads, the Abigail rerun banner, and also a brand new event actually happening in JP. It's real, and it comes with rank ups and lots of bonus servants. Hi, I'm one of your hosts, and I am definitely not a Sailor Omega. And with me as always, he was a sailor once, Lucky.
Only once. But everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Bonus Servant Bonanza. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should take a dip in the sea of imaginary numbers.
Again, this is relevant because not as bad as we'll get to later this month, fingers crossed, with like Lost Belt pre-games and stuff, but this event's kind of weird setup they're talking about in JP, so keep an eye out. So before we jump into the real segments, before we jump into the real segments, let me read out the patron bit really quick. Let me just make sure to buy a little time spacing out. And remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHarp, Ahiga Comics, Architect 10, Blackest OG, Carlos, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Rogue Robin, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob, Soto-san, 0424, Cyber23, and Zach Reed. And if you like what we do and want us to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you. Normally there'd be a monster here, but for some odd reason, Lucky's not been having the greatest day, and some during the pre-show, my mind just, idle hands are the devil's playthings, just went over, grabbed it, cracked it open, and in my moment of distress, I'm just like, whatever, fuck it, I'm just gonna go, it's time to drink Monster and look at bitches, except they're not bitches, because I respect women, and then I proceeded to guzzle Monster then and there. Sorry, everybody.
Ah, Monster, your respect women juice. Also, yeah, that was all out of the 60 seconds, so it should be okay, unless YouTube decides to bamboozle me.
They might bamboozle you.
We've occasionally been bamboozled.
Oh, I have to do a thumbnail. I can't play Genshin Impact right now.
Do you have to do a thumbnail, though?
Actually, no, I really don't want to do a thumbnail.
That's okay, I'll do a lo-fi thumbnail.
I would appreciate that.
I'll put a stupid Abigail face on it, do some derpy faces. But okay, and if you don't get any of that, you will later. Trust me. So before we get into the real segments, I do want to very quickly have a brief moment of business time. So, last week, some of you may have noticed there was some weird extraneous audio in there. Sorry, my B. Mea culpa. Spooky Scary Skeletons was in fact claimed, even though it was a remix. Thanks, guys. I don't know, maybe it was an official remix somebody did, or whatever. Anyway, so YouTube has a number of tools to deal with that, which are actually pretty good. I wanted to experiment with replace it with another song clip. And YouTube was like, make sure you fill in the whole gap so the audio is covered. And I was like, okay, YouTube, I'll fill in this conveniently outlined gap. And, much like me at 5 years old, I didn't color in the lines very well. Though, it's not my fault. YouTube gave me some big lines. So, there was a little bit of audio covering. The Patreon version was fine, and also doesn't get copyright claims automatically because there's no copyright tools. Yay! So, give me $1 on Patreon. You can have the full uncensored version. Huzzah. But yeah, some people talked to me about that. I was able to readjust our mix back down so we're audible over it. But that still meant that Spooky Scary Skeletons was still audible, so I had to mute it anyway. So hopefully everything's okay. If you want to go back and listen to those couple of minutes, go ahead, check it out. It is no longer eaten by the copyright gremlins. And in future, I'll just go back to muting songs. And also, I wouldn't mind if you went back over a re-listen, because there were some periods where our monetization was briefly blocked up. So, go back, check it out. The audio on Patreon, go for it. YouTube's been, I don't know if there's like a volume problem or whatever, but YouTube has been a little bit slower with ad reviews and ad approvals lately. Mm-hmm. I think I know what happened with the other week, or the other month when they kind of reduced those numbers, where like YouTube for the first time told me like, hey, we accidentally over-reported how many of your ad serves were valid, so you made less money. And I'm I feel like YouTube, you should still pay me the money because that's your fuck up, not mine. But whatever. Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll deal with it. I'll get back on the Shillahorn. Beep, beep. I can do this song and dance, but it seems like they're maybe they're doing some behind the scenes overhauling of their ad system to make it cleaner for advertisers. Not that those gremlins need any help, but they pay the bills, so. Hey, if you ever want to approach us for a direct sponsorship, I swear I will not call you gremlins unless that's in the ad copy. That's a personal relationship. Okay, The one thing we can all say, Lucky, is that we're glad that we don't have to deal with election ads anymore.
Yeah. Jeez.
I think I complained about that on WhatsApp last week. Like, I voted, 2 weeks ago. Like, I mailed in my vote, at the beginning of last month. And, YouTube was still trying to serve me 5-second ads for this guy and that guy, and I'm just like, YouTube, it's over. I'm done already. You can't do it. But whatever. It was a big, important time, and that's all we'll talk about that today.
Yes.
But yeah, so, just little note about the business. Let's go ahead and move to our first scheduled segment, which will not be blocked at all, and check in with everybody's favorite kohai, Mesh.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our breaker segment for pro tips. I got 2 this week. They're real. That's the thing. Last week, it was pretty boring. This week, I got 2 real pro tips. Hey, so, pro tip number 1. You never know when a bonus servant or a bonus CE will be relevant, so remember to level your servants when you can. Don't ditch your CEs unless you absolutely have to, and if you do, focus on event CEs that have already had reruns first. And use clairvoyance to your advantage. Realize that a unit will be useful in 2 years. Because, we're going to talk about the new JP event they've announced later. It's wild. They're doing some really weird things with these bonuses, okay? So, we'll explain why later, but just in general, a good reminder, pay attention to what's up, and, we'll also pay attention to our show, What's Up with Abigail and Lucky, but just pay attention to what's happening and what could be relevant in the future. Okay? Alright?
Okay.
And now our second bullet point, this news will save your life. Remember, DST happened. That means that even if you're not in America, your login is now an hour earlier. Because the login time doesn't change just what hour it says it is. So, watch the fuck out, okay? We're in the middle of a downloads event.
I'm glad that I accidentally broke my streak before this all got started.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no, now I gotta make sure. Oh god.
Yeah. Well, you were... Yesterday you were streaming at least, so...
Yeah.
I know you logged into that roller, because you were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, one of my possible intros that I decided to discard because I didn't know what I would do for me was double gacha, Lucky. Because
you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that you got the technology working.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrestling around with other things, but I did see. I checked in. Okay, so...
There's in the corner.
Let's move on to our next segment. Records on our regular achievement topic.
Booyah.
Hey, so I have finally had the EXPs to go ahead and finish leveling Onikir, and her smile is protected, and she's already level 80, which is good. Now I just need to put some skills in her.
Boom. Mine's not quite as impressive. On Lucky's end, he protected Phantom of the Opera smile. And real quick, I didn't know that fucking Phantom was so handsome underneath that mask. How fucking dare?
He's got moves.
I was a little shook when I got to his 3rd ascension. It's just like he removes the mask and he puts on glasses. He has red eyes. I'm all like, what is this devilish looking handsome man?
Yeah. Well, I mean, half his face is supposed to be fucked up, but otherwise he's supposed to be cool.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. Coolio.
Christine.
Anyway. Yeah, well, hey, you want to know what helped me finish leveling Onikir? It's a little thing they dropped with the 12 million.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about that later. So we don't have any All the World's Evil. We'll skip it. Robin will say something funny here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about, did you finish your Master Missions? It's a real question. Did you do it? I haven't actually yet. That means I probably should figure it out. So I'm gonna need you to defeat 15 Knight class enemies, not servants or bosses, then defeat 30 enemies that are Knight class, that are not servants or bosses, then defeat 15 Cavalry class enemies that are not servants or bosses, and then defeat 30 Cavalry class enemies that are not servants or bosses, aka defeat 15 more, and then I'm gonna need you to punch 8 servants and complete 10 quests. Yay.
Yay.
So do your interludes, I guess, of which I have done some. But they are a little lengthy. Like, I got Scheherazade's in my queue, and I'm like, man, that's a lot of nodes. That's going to take a while.
Scheherazade's is kind of fun, but...
I mean, I'm sure it's fun, and it's a good read, but it's like, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pips.
It's a lot of pips.
It's a lot of pips. I'm in the middle of... I just realized I never finished, because she was only partially leveled. I never finished Osakabe Hime's rank up quest. I should do that, too. I think I got distracted by how not good I was doing at the rerun, had to power through that one. But alright, let's get into the news. Because there is some news, for once. It's happening.
Oh no.
As we predicted it would. So, in JP, there is the Imaginary Scramble event pre-release campaign from the 4th of November to the 18th of November. There's a new event upcoming. They're going to do a stream on the 11th. Golly gee willikers, I wonder when the event will happen.
I am excited.
It has a longer name, but I think we're going with Imaginary Scramble as the short version. This event is interesting because they have outed who wrote it, which is weird. Like, okay, so there's some obvious things. Like, I think everybody figured out that, Meteo or Meteor, who writes Fate Requiem, wrote the Fate Requiem collab event, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Especially because that guy also is the scenario writer and I think, like, all the Foreigners as well. He likes space. And we can assume in general, like, what collabs and stuff where were done with consultation with whom, right? Like, we know because it was back in part 1 that Zero Axel was done by Urobuchi, with gentle bullying by Nasu. But they don't usually, especially after part 1, they do not usually announce explicitly who writes events.
Well, after the backlash of some writing, I think they thought it was just best just to not say.
Yeah, just to not say who did what.
Yeah.
Like, you can still figure it out, because, hey, guess what? In materials books, servant scenario writers are still credited. Now, obviously, that's not a 1-to-1, but it's still, you will probably likely, you know, like, if you pulled up, oh, golly gee willikers, who is the scenario writer for all these Lost Belt 2 servants? I wonder if they wrote the most of the chapter. Which I don't know off the top of my head, but could look up. But anyway, they have announced that the author of this one is, so, it's a pen name, obviously, but they're called Amphibian. But they've done some work before for Fate, including on some FGO mystery short stories that I didn't know existed, and some other stuff. So they're a writer who's worked with Type Moon before and done some interesting things. I believe they also did some, like, Case Files side story stuff. You know, interesting things. Interesting tone we're perhaps setting for this event. But yeah, so the pre-release is live now. You can log in for apples. Log in for, I think, up to 9 days to get a variety of apples. As I mentioned earlier, they are doing half AP on main quests up to Lost Belt 5 Part 2. And then Lost Belt 5 Part 2 itself is half AP. All free quests are half AP. I think you have to have beaten a certain Lost Belt to get the half AP free quest, but still, it's fine. It's fun. Extra foes and up to 10 Saint Courts if you cleared up to Lost Belt 4, so, you know, little bonus missions. It has a banner. We're getting a raid-up on Consort Yang Guifei, Summer Raiko, Summer Fran, and MHXX, and both Imaginary Sakura CEs, so Imaginary Around and Imaginary Element. And you may say to yourself, wild, wacky. You're right. We'll flash back to why that's relevant. Also, people are super excited. The pre-release did come up with 3 rank-ups for Foreigners. Abby, Yang, and MHXX. I will now read to you the effects of the rank-ups. Abigail's first skill now gives herself a 20 to 30% battery immediately. So
Terrifying.
That's her charge per turn skill. Now, in addition to giving her 10% for 3 turns, and the NP up, well, giving the whole team 10%, but also herself, she now just gets a straight-up 20 to 30% battery. This means you can now K-scope with Abby immediately, or, hey, after 3 turns, she's a 50% battery. I think overall the theme of this is about consistency. Mm-hmm. This doesn't necessarily, like, make Abigail vanilla anyway, like, super broken or anything, but it makes it a lot more consistent for you to just go, pop the battery, I can NP now. You know, it will mean she can fire that NP much more reliably and opens her up to more CE choices. Similarly with Yang, her taunt skill, which I believe is her first skill, now drops more stars and applies to everyone, not just males. Again, just more consistency. Bigger star drop, and the fact that her taunt is universal means you can apply it while farming or while fighting other types of enemies. It was one of those things that made sense with flavor, but just doesn't flow as well in the game when, hey, a lot of units are not males.
Funny that. And
for MHXX, it's an NP buff. It just increases her damage multiplier, and now she does plus 50% damage to sabers, so it was a 150% multiplier before, and now it's a flat 200%. Just consistency. She will hit harder, and now she fully hits sabers like she was hitting a Berserker or another Foreigner. That means that combined with the fact that she's got a single target NP that just received a damage buff from a rank up means that she will hit sabers pretty hard. Will make it very interesting for mixed nodes. So yeah, that's your rank ups. A lot of people are excited for these. I don't think they really, like I said, break anything, but they add consistency to these servants' kits, and they're pretty interesting to see. And obviously themed. So, they have done some pre-press for the event. We know that the upcoming event will only require you to have cleared Lost Belt 1 to participate, but may have spoilers for up to Lost Belt 4, so ye have been warned. I think I talked about this off mic, but I actually kind of like how they do this, where like they straight up tell you like how much story completion you need to be spoiler free, but they don't necessarily stop you from participating in the event.
Yeah.
Which also hopefully means that the difficulty isn't too crazy. Speaking of crazy, though, all right, Lucky, let's get into this. We've been talking about this off mic a little bit, but we have a bonus servant list and a bonus CE list, at least a preemptive one. In the fact that Imaginary Round and Imaginary Element are bonus CEs. We don't know what the bonus is, but we know they're bonus CEs.
Yes.
Weird. Those, I believe, are both launch CEs, by the way.
They are.
Yeah. So that's a frickin' 5-year callback there.
Yeah, if you guys don't remember off the top of your heads, Imaginary Element is the basically the mini K-scope that a lot of people will use to get on there, and Imaginary Round is just the flat quick buff that we got. They both feature Sakura, but I don't know if Sakura is necessarily or Sakura faces, I should say, are necessarily a focal point of
No, probably not. And the reason why that's themed is because Sakura's element as a mage is imaginary numbers specifically. So this has to do with, hence the name, it has to do with the imaginary numbers C and stuff. So, though we're pretty sure that's why they're doing a callback, but yeah, it's interesting. So, the bonus servant list includes basically every summer servant, including every guy who got a costume. This is I would say, probably 90% plus bulk of this list. Were you a summer? Did you have a summer costume? You're in. So, like, Sigurd's in there, Siegfried's in there, Merlin's in there, which is really interesting. This is also everybody who got these brand new. So all your summer 5s, like if you rolled big on those banners in JP, and if you will roll big on those banners in the future, all those apply too. So, pretty robust list. In addition to this, we have Scotty, Giles, caster version, Wuzetan, Zhang Yu, regular BB, and all 6 foreigners. Not just the swimsuit ones, all 6 of them. Interestingly enough, there are no alter egos to be found at all.
Yes.
So there's no alter egos, and there are no Avengers or rulers who were not Summers. The only Avenger bonus is Dantes, he got a costume, and the only rulers are Summer Martha and Summer Artoria Lancer.
Yeah, interestingly enough, BB's on this list with the 2 other moon cancers.
And Jinako is not. So it's not all moon cancers.
Yeah. Like, we can give a pass for Kiara and Summer BB because they're both Summer, but it still makes the why is regular, but while Vanilla BB on there.
Yeah, Curiouser and Ooh, suddenly scratching my throat. Yeah, Curiouser and Curiouser. I definitely have thoughts and feelings and ideas about what they're doing, but I will make no claim to know exactly what's happening.
I'll totally make fucking wild speculations. If they're going to the imaginary number seas, I would like to remind you that there is a certain Dragon Mom who's supposed to be sleeping in said area.
Yep.
And the game has, as far as we know in Lost Bell 2, there has been a affectionate presence.
Yeah, there was we bumped into somebody in there.
Yeah, so I make no claims to know when, where, not, but I have hopes. I have dreams.
That said, it could also be far more creepifying than that, because all foreigners are listed, and as we said before, Giles is as well, which, again, like, you would think he's a standout. If you look at this list, he's not actually a standout. No.
Prelati spellbook is fucking wild, yo.
That's a full-blown, like, if we bump into Rillier in our mock naval battle or whatever we're doing, just don't be surprised. If you bump into the big C, maybe we bump into his face with a shadow border. It'll be just like the Call of Cthulhu, the short story. Anyway, so that's our big event. Lots of speculation abounds. It's going to be very interesting. Actually, this is an interesting thing to say, because I did double check Teespring not too long ago. We actually sold the Dragon Mom Effect shirt. Don't know who bought it. Shout out to you if you're listening. That's a very old joke we haven't brought up in a while, but because there haven't been a lot of Dragon Moms, unfortunately. But it's a simple parabolic mathematical formula. A plus B equals D. A is the value of mom, B is the value of dragon, and D is the amount of want. The more dragon and the more mom you have, the more we want.
It's very true.
It's a simple graph, and I had a lot of gestures there that were completely lost. That said, if I had a camera, I would have busted out a fucking whiteboard or something. Anyway, so, there's a lot of interesting things that could happen. Spooky scary, weird, eldritch, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, especially with the foreigner focus, the lack of
alter egos.
Yeah, lack of alter egos is very
Concern.
sus, as the kids are saying these days. Very
Honestly,
sus.
it could be Dragon Ball and still have fucking creepy scary, honestly.
Oh yeah, well we don't know the length or breadth of the event yet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the details. They gave a short summary of the event. We're not going to cover that because that would be future tech spoilers. And let me say, like I said, I know this event only requires Lost Belt 1 to clear, but spoilers go up to 4. This is one of those things where me and the mod's guns are locked and loaded. I am ready to yeet us, delete us. Any sort of secondary story spoilers. We are getting really close to Lost Belt 3, and so we would like to avoid anybody fucking anything up at the last minute. So, yeah. We got a lot of interesting questions and comments going on, and we'll see. I assume at the very least if they don't do the classic, and the event happens now, on the 11th, we will at least get full banner details and stuff.
Oh yeah, well, I'm hoping. Like I said, they've been hyping this up for a little bit, so I'm expecting a CM.
Oh yeah, they should. This is a full blown event, so we should see another CM. We should see a banner. Oh, and actually, fun fact. I think this is her first time ever appearing on stream, but I believe the stream's going to have Abigail's voice actress on.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes, I remember that. Hearing that as well.
Which is pretty cool. I guess that once again lets you know about themes and stuff. I don't think I remember the exact guest list. Also, where the heck in there it is? Looking for their YouTube channel. Do we have a... I don't see a stream link yet, but I know it's going to happen. Well, yeah, it's a story event, so it's like OQ or CCC, etc. Like, this is meant to involve story themes. It's just kind of come in a limited event form, which I think, again, makes sense for what they're doing. I don't want to get into it too much, but it makes logical sense that this is like a fun thing we do as an event, but also has story themes, which is cool. Okay, yeah, I think that's everything there is to say about Imaginary Scramble for now.
For now.
Obviously, like I said, the stream will be the 11th. We are currently recording this on November 6th, so that's next Wednesday, though I don't know exactly what the date and time is. Again, I don't know if it's not posted yet, or if just YouTube's being weird. I don't actually see a link to the stream yet. But, that will be before we record next. Oh, shoot, lucky.
What?
Next time we record Let's Talk FGO is going to be Friday the 13th.
Ooh, whatever.
Hopefully they give us a spooky gotcha surprise to murder our wallets. Hey.
No murder. Only wholesome.
Okay. All right. So I think that's everything to do with that one. Let us go ahead and sprint on into NA's news, which I realized I wrote all this down as numbers and letters, capital letters. So in North America, it's 12 million downloads. The event is happening from the 5th to the 18th. I covered most of this on News Desk. A very well-received News Desk, obviously. Popped off, got some stuff. But let's recap. Item number 1, the SR ticket. There's a free SR ticket. They're doing it. It's happening right now. Now, by the time this comes out, you will have been able to exchange it. But, just to remind everybody, the exchange period begins on the 6th, as I said in the period. And actually, it's basically late on the 6th. It's not going to be until like 11 p.m. for me, so... Lucky and I had to parse out the time earlier before we started recording. Time is weird, yo. But that's the big one, the SR ticket. I'm sure we'll tell you next week what we picked, unless we can say right now what we picked.
I'm picking. I'm stuck with Edison. Either, like I said, I'm going for collection purposes, and the only two I don't have is Saber Diamond and fucking Edison right now.
Fair enough.
Wild, but
yeah, I've been deciding which night of the round to pick. Basically, and I think I'm just gonna go with Tristan just because Gwyn's cool. I like him. I don't really need another AoE Buster Saber, so we'll probably go with Tristan for the change up. But yeah, that's me. Cool. Feel free to agonize about your choices in the comments once again. So we do have a social media campaign for 30 Saint Courts. They did have to reschedule this. Apparently, it took a while to get their tweets out and their posts organized, so they extended the deadline, which is good. I can tell you now safely. I double-checked. I did the math. I ran the numbers. We've cleared it. It was 65k shared reactions between Facebook and Twitter. When I totaled them up earlier today, we were at 72k. So we're good. We got the 30 Saint Courts. We're in.
All right, well, I guess I'm just giving up on Genshin Impact today because I am not DPS enough. Fuck this game.
Rip. Okay. So, that's our social media. I know a lot of people have been talking for bigger rewards and bigger social media tie-ins. Well, here it is. And, hey, you guys nutted up. You know, you hit the level, which is good, because That's the thing. If you want bigger rewards, you got to show them the response, because this is basically an investment in their social media. They have to know that it's worth giving us stuff to engage with people on social media, because people will engage back. And I think we've shown it. It's a pretty consistent ramp up, but it's good. And hey, free sync quartz. I think I'm gonna be at 450 when Lost Belt 3 hits. Like, before any of the new shit. Like, I'm already at, like, 410.
I think I'm going to be at, like, 200-ish myself.
I think this is the most sync quartz I've ever had in a single go, and I don't know how.
I'm pretty sure you had more somewhere. I just don't remember where.
Did I break 400 before? I don't know. I might have. I don't know. Some of that might also be, like, spending different levels. But anyway, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. I also have a lot of tickets right now, because there's... Like, I could get a carrot key, but I really don't... I want to save those tickets for stuff, because there'll be other brand new servants coming around. And I think I have at least one ninja. Okay, where was I in the list? Log in for 10 of stuff. This is why we reminded you about daylight savings time. Remember to log in. If you miss the logins, you will miss these rewards. There's 10 tickets at the end, along with lots of other stuff you want. Also, here's what I found was the big news. 5-star EXPs are real. Have some. That's right, they introduced new Hellfires of Wisdom. The 5-star EXPs. And they gave you 10 alls to start with, which is how I got, combined with the a later bullet point about double super great suck. That's how I got Caster Shootin to max level and max ascension. Because free stuff.
Free stuff.
Now,
Great.
Omega, you ask me, how will I get these things? Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be future drops. But for the moment, for sure, you can roll both 5-star EXPs and now 4-star EXPs randomly in the FP gacha. I believe it is a small chance, but you will now get better EXP out of there, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not actually firing off, well, you can turn them into Mana Prisms, which you might need for reasons we'll talk about in a sec. But first, we are now also doing our own 1/4/1/2 AP and main quest. So, gosh, what is it actually? It's definitely all of part 1. Is it also Lost Belt 1? I gotta actually look at it. My notes are super truncated because, like I said, I literally did this video already.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, wait, I want to remember exactly what's happening. Scrolling. Where's the AP? Show me the AP. Okay. All right. So, half AP for part 1 and part 2 are quarter. Okay. So even more if you didn't catch up, because I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but Lost Belt 3 will either be right after this, or it will be after they do Christmas rerun. The Christmas rerun should technically come first, but big buts. We don't know. They might actually, because that would... I know we're in a weird place right now where, like, the moment Halloween ended, it was Christmas time, right?
Well, like, looking at the way the JP did schedule, that's how they did it, and I can understand it. Because, like, we gotta remember, like, we say Christmas rerun, the rerun's only a week. It's not long.
Yeah, it's a fast one. It's a fast spacer. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make that like a week and a half for us. Because we're already doubling up on the interlude campaign and the downloads basically in the same, like, 10-ish days, I think.
Also,
I want to overlap.
I also want to point out that Lost Belt 3 had a pre-campaign, and if they big brain, they just might roll that pre-campaign into whatever Thanksgiving fund they might have planned for us as well, so they can fire off on Lost Belts at the end. So I'm still thinking that they're probably gonna sometime next week. Sometime next week, they're gonna fire off on Merry Christmas from the Underworld. That's gonna run like a week, and then we'll probably go into the Christmas whatever pre-campaign thing they might have planned, and we'll still hit off Lost Belt 3 at the end of the month.
Yeah, I would say that would probably be because the 12 million DL started the 5th, so I would say probably after weeks around the 12th or 13th, they'll let us know whatever's actually next.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be the rerun, so get ready, everybody.
Get ready. Hold on to your butts. If you want, I'll hold on to them.
Oh, there are some special master missions for some Saint Quartz and a command code. Just beat up some enemies, so you can get up to 10 Saint Quartz.
Oop.
And a little command code. We're going to talk about double, super, and great suck. Here's another fun one. They just gave you plus 10 friend slots. Just straight up more friend slots.
It was actually funny during the stream. Some people was like, why did I lose 10 friends? You're like, no. We were like, no. You gained slots. And everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, they gave you 10 more slots. Also, they're doing an interesting thing where you can get ×4 friend points on main quests. So if you're doing the story, you'll get more friend points. Also, here's a big one. We have our new MP Shop CE Chaldea Teatime. This is the one that gives you more bond if it's used in support. So that's out, and there's bonus MP and RP shop inventory. I have not started buying Teatimes. I only have 3k and Mana Prisms. I'm sure some Lotto runs will probably fix that up, but for now, I'm not ready to go. But you remember, you got a few months. There's a rotation of this.
I have only like 2k, so I got a little bit further. I got to go a little bit further beyond.
But still, very reasonable at the way this game goes. But okay. That's it for, I think, all the stuff. The only other thing in the actual campaign list is there are returning master bonuses. If, for some chance, you've stopped playing FGO, very sorry if I've deleted you off my friends list then. Sorry about that. But if you want to come back, there are returning bonuses. If you hear me at all. I don't actually know what our ratio is on that. I would expect if you quit playing FGO, you would probably quit listening to us talk about FGO, but I don't know. Anyway, bonuses, fun. Tell your friends if they've quit. There is also a banner. It's Abigail headlining it. If you're curious, watch Wanted Abigail, except you probably already did, because that's one of our biggest wanteds. We're also getting Kirki, Nezha, and Robin on raid up as well. Kind of a mini Salem callback here. Getting some fun stuff. And if you want any of those units, you can go ahead and do that. If not, hold out, because new stuff coming. Deep breaths. Okay. All right. So, that was the news. Mm-hmm. And we don't really have a back half. Like, normally with interlude campaigns, we might shout out to, like, some new interludes we did that are cool. I did do some new interludes, but
I mean, I did Kanto Donzo's, and I was having wholesome moments, and then it was ruined, and it gave me agita, and I'm just, like, vibrating in my chair. You can see that on stream.
Mm-hmm. Chiyome's is kind of funny, because Shuten it's especially because they made it so Oni Light happened first, where Shuten just basically bullies Chiyome's fear of snakes until Chiyome's like, alright, I've had enough out of you. I'm tired of this. I'm done with you. Maves was pretty funny, and it also included a skill rank up, which is cool. But I've got a few more that I hopefully do while taking care of the half AP.
I'll probably do some more. I didn't do them in the first place because I wanted something to stream. But if we're probably going to be in rerun next week, I might do some more on my own. I got things I need to complete. I also have servants I need to level. The eternal problem.
Leveling. But okay, I think that's the news. So,
all right, if that's the news, then we're gonna scooch onto Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we take your comments, we read them out loud, and then we yell at you about them.
We do that a lot.
We do that a lot. As I said, we have a pretty sparse back half this week. So,
also, guys, don't take this as a value judgment or anything. Also, not a huge influx of mailbag. A little surprised. I think we got more mailbag in dead weeks. Usually we hit around 30.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You guys are still sending them in, so I'm still happy. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
but
just
because
it makes a convenient thing we can do.
Mm-hmm. But because things are looking a little sparse, we're gonna go through the full thing. So this is the point where Lucky takes the timer, he throws it on the ground to put it in its place.
On the ground.
Exactly. And we're just gonna roll on out. So what I'm gonna do is I have it open, and we begin. Our first one comes from Rent-A-Girl MC is an incel. You can't look at it, you can't see it, but I just gave the camera side eye.
I'm making a face right now.
But they say, hey, Lucky and Omega, lately I've been wanting to go down the rabbit hole and explore more about the lore and stuff in Fate. Do you have any recommendations for resources for someone who wants to go deep in Fate lore and stuff like websites, books, etc., etc.? Well, let me tell you. There's only one place you need to fucking go. One. And that's Type Moon Wiki. Literally. That's it.
Yeah.
You can find everything there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know like how comprehensive or reliable their scholarship is, but boy howdy, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And they at least do an effort to mostly, like, I think they've gotten better over the past couple years since like FGO came out stateside and people are actually like, what the fuck is happening? They actually do an effort to like try and document things, and they will actually totally, like quote and cite even the smallest stuff. Like, hey, remember that one line from one FGO event? They've sourced it.
But yeah, no, if we're talking like just probably the biggest compilation of Fate lore where it's easy to reach links and stuff that you don't have to go start pouring through interviews like fucking little books all in Japanese and stuff, you probably want to go to the Type Moon Wiki. Like I said, believe it or not, I spend like a healthy amount of time on there just reading. Like I said, I've been in there reading about the imaginary element, since it's going to be something relevant coming up soon. Again, guys, I like to remind you, it's not that I'm smarter than anyone else, I just know how to fucking read. Research! It's fun. But, I think that is it for that question, so thank you, Rent-A-Girl MC is an incel. Meh. And we move on to Toto-sama Fish Me Out of Cur. Wow. But they say, hey guys, hope the week has been decent enough. No questions for me. Thank you for the content last week. Be safe. I mean, look, he literally had a panic attack today, but hey, whatever. It's life. If I'm not going through at least one existential crisis a week, who am I even? I don't fucking know. We gotta keep on going, though. So the next one comes from some Amish guy. If you're actually Amish, you want to be on the internet, though. Or unless they're in that weird thing where they just go out to live in the world like fucking forever and do whatever the fuck they want. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. I don't know. Anyway, they say, no question. Just wanted to thank you guys again for fantastic content. Much love for Amish country.
Well, hey, thumbs up.
Thumbs up? I hear you make bitchin' ass houses. Actually, that is true. I heard my friend, the guy I live with, my best friend, his family's like, they do a lot of construction work, and they've actually had the opportunity to work with Amish folk. But the Amish folk, they built their houses a certain way, and they don't use certain materials. But even though they have techniques that make their houses like super like sturdy, to the point that if you actually introduce modern elements into it for like modern stuff, they actually say that it will actually fall apart sooner. I'm just like, wild. Anyway, this next one. Thank you, some Amish guy. This next one comes from does DSS stand for Dragon Slaying Squad or Double Scotty System?
Who knows?
Clearly, it stands for Dual Skepticism Scandal.
That sounds like that's not crazy enough to be a light novel title. That's definitely an anime title, though.
Might be a wuxia novel. Let's see here. Question. I missed asking this a while back, so hopefully you guys vaguely recall the topic. If I remember correctly, about 2 weeks ago, Omega mentioned, or insinuated, something along the lines that an artificially created human is different from a homunculus. Did I hear that wrong, or can you elaborate on that? I'm pretty sure that's going to be part of the what is a homunculus topic.
Yeah, which, spoilers, you're probably going to have to wait on, because for some reason, everybody wants me to talk about swords. For some reason. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about the new polls later, because I remember to put them up. And I did say polls. Again, talk about it later. But yeah, no, when that came up, yes, both of us did just say that a designer baby is not a homunculus.
Yeah.
Which is true.
It is true.
I haven't done much more than my prelim research, but yes, I can tell you that design the baby is not the same as homunculus. At the very least, a homunculus implies some kind of magical construction. Like they are an artificial human created with magecraft stuff. To make a designer baby, all you need is some test tubes and some eggs and sperm, smash them together, pick some genes. That can be magic. I don't actually know how much magic was involved with MASH, but it's possible. Like I said, we will probably clarify the distinction, like you said, later whenever that topic does come up, because it could.
If I want to put it in the most terse terms, homunculus is the realm of magic. Designer baby is in the realm of science.
Yes.
But thank you. Does DSS stand for Dragon Slaying Squad or Double Scotty System? Excuse me. This next one comes from that one guy who exists without time. I know this feeling. They say though, hey, look at you, Mega. No question. Must get through so much story. I bless your rules and hope you both have a good week. Well, thank you, my lad, my dude, my internet existence.
I gotta be real. I zoned out through all of that. I just started with "What is time?" Baby, don't hurt me, and then I just heard into my head while you read that. Thank you for your nice messages.
Please excuse Omega while he goes on a musical montage in his brain.
Have you guys ever seen "What Is Love" by Hathaway, the music video? It's a trip, guys. You should look it up on YouTube. Here, pause this video, open a new tab, and conflate Hathaway "What Is Love" with "Let's Suck After You."
Listen, 70s, 80s music videos were wild. You people don't understand sometimes. I think they peaked in like the 90s, and then in the 2000s, I have no idea what the fuck. Oh yeah, no, it was just a bunch. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. Anyway, this next one comes from Zed, just Zed, who says, comment. Maeve obtained, Smile protected, and Maeve has new clothes. Hope you guys are enjoying the game. 2 well wishes being sent your way. Question. Oh, it's one of these questions. One day, DW implements a playable break bar system to put on Mashu and Mashu only, and the game allows you to set up Mash to use a simple effect when the break bar on her breaks. Example, when Mashu break bar breaks, she heals all of your party. She heals all of the party besides herself. Or when the bar breaks, she has her MP charged to full. What bar break effects do you want to give your Mashu? I just want her just to say bar break like 10 times super fast, because that is fucking killing me right now.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, the phrase break bar or bar break has lost all meaning to me.
Oh
there was way too much in that sentence. How much break would a break bar break when a break bar break?
I feel like how much could a break bar break if a break bar could bar break? Yeah.
We made our own tongue twister. Cool idea. Don't know if it's ever gonna happen. Sounds like a pain in the butt.
I mean, I think I honestly, I wouldn't like implementing a player side break bar system. Probably wouldn't be too hard. Honestly,
it would certainly be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I don't know if they'll go that way because that's kind of an escalation.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. If it's an escalation, that means that honestly, you'll probably start seeing basic enemies with break bars and all that crazy stuff, and that's just a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know if we actually want to quote unquote slow the game down. Just the way the break bar system works for most bosses is it gives you boss phases basically because they can change their behavior in AI and kind of their buffs and stuff.
And it's also to prevent player just one shotting bosses.
Yeah, so it prevents you from one shotting the boss and actually puts stages in a fight, which is pretty typical in games like this. Even simple RPGs like FGO. It's pretty basic to put in the kind of work they do there. I don't know. I mean, if it became possible for players to have break bar effects and not just do the whole you have guts basically kind of. I would say you should probably just borrow from what units do. So Mash should just slap damage cut on everybody or something.
Yeah, I was thinking damage cut. Damage
cut or get a free NP chunk. It's weird because players don't have pips. They have the different setups.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm if we're talking Mashu in particular, yeah, I would say damage cut's usually a good one to go.
I mean, I think it was, Loft started a funny one. I think it would actually go the other way, where she starts Ordinax, that if her bar breaks, she turns back into regular Mash, or vice versa. That could be fun. I don't know if that's good. That is something they have done, though, with bosses before, where they've had them, literally change costumes and classes.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Ishtar do that?
I think so. The bonus versions of the bonus bosses from the CCC event did that. Tamo would start as Tamo, and then she went Summer at the end.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just trying to remember. I remember Ishtar because I think it was a superpower Ishtar. Then you break her bar, and she's back down to regular Ishtar, and she became really, really weak. Because I remember I think that was. Wait, was that Merry Christmas from the Underworld?
Yeah, I think that was Merry Christmas because Super Ishtar was a fight.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. Then I'm excited for that. Listen, guys, Merry Christmas from the Underworld is another one of those events where I'm probably actually gonna read it just to be these are the good jokes.
Well, I mean, they're all time locked, so yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And your lotto boxes are limited, though. I won't mind the free shit.
Mm-hmm. Give. Don't worry, we got fucking Carnival coming next month, I guess.
Yeah, we've got Wacky and Wild Christmas and Summer Christmas.
Guys, remember, we're only getting one of these. Don't forget it. I'm gonna start reminding y'all now.
Actually, that is a good point. Also, I do believe it does require LB1 to do, so, hey, guy, or at the very least, it requires clearing Solomon. So, yeah, no. Maybe it's only Babylonia? I don't know. You have to do story content, catch up on story. Don't at me. Do story, get rulers. Do story, get servants. Alright. Let's move on.
We will move on. So thank you, Zed, Just Zed. We're gonna move on to hoping that Tamamo will be on Raid-Up on Thanksgiving. I can't understand this, but at the same time, I don't, because I'm please don't make me spin quartz. Please don't make me spin quartz. No. But they say, Dear Lucky Omega, where does Abigail, silver key power allow her to go? Can she connect to Lost Belts? This is where I look to Omega, because I actually have no idea.
Everywhere. Nowhere. Listen, okay, guys. Yogg-Sothoth, the key in the gate, he's all the space-time at once. I'm not shitting you. If you summon Yogg-Sothoth and, get Yogg-Sothoth spells, you can, go places, times, alternate dimensions. So the answer is a big resounding yes. Where does it allow her to go? Yes. Theoretically, it is unlimited. Obviously, much like other forms of unlimited teleportation, there's like probably limits on like having your brain knowledge, knowing where you're going. But yeah, theoretically, she could go anywhere.
Probably why she went a little mad. It's like there's a theme here with playing with powers that you don't fully comprehend. Heck,
honestly, I would say it's much more powerful than ray shifting. Ray shifting is. I don't know if we've ever actually gotten a really perfect description of the technology, but I guess we have. Ray shifting is basically like sending your data back in time, kind of.
Yeah. To an observed point in time,
yes.
I believe.
Yeah, because that is the thing. They have to observe you to prevent your, like... Because the world kicks out things that shouldn't exist, so it would kick you out if your existence wasn't constantly being verified and anchored.
Yes. That's why you have the support time, and that's why, like, people are always all like, yeah, well, you guys played the story, you know. Okay. But, if you have Abigail and you did her interlude, they actually comment a little bit about this when other Abby comes back. Spoilers.
It's a whole heckin' thing.
It's a heckin' thing. Clearly, she's been out and about exploring the universe. She just decided to pop back in and be like, come with me. And you're just like,
Nah, I got shit to do. Girl, have you seen my to-do list?
Huge!
Show her 2 years of upcoming FGO content. Anyway.
Alright, so, thank you. Hoping that will be on right up on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna tell you, I do, but also, I don't. Lucky needs to save. Next year is coming. And next year is gonna be wild. Now, I'm gonna go into this next one. But I'm gonna say, right now, here in the United States of America, we're going through election bullshit. I'm gonna call it bullshit because it's fucking election bullshit. It also means
unfortunately, we should be real. This happens every election, but it's still sassy right now. It's very sassy.
Well, it only happens it happens every 4 years, so yeah. But so right now, I'm in zero, and I mean this, zero mood for political election shenanigery. I like looking at the elections so I can it's basically sociology studies. I'm like, yes, I see how people are voting. But actual stuff about elections, no, get that out of my face.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. Everybody's made the dumb joke. I'm overseeing I don't know if you have Lucky, I'm overseeing all the Fate memes where they just paint the map one color and they slap an image over it.
Listen, there's only 2 that I support, and one was fucking Lelouch, and the other was Gilgamesh. That's it. That's all I need to see. I'm fucking done with this meme.
I mean, I like that they did a comeback to the Gilgamesh, which was but what about Artoria, though? But after that, it immediately became lazy and overused, like many memes. We've seen them. We're over them.
So, for this reason, I don't want to think about elections and whatnot. Priest who is still spinning in a teacup, unfortunately, I'm going to bypass your question because I don't want to fucking think about this.
It's a little too soon for us.
Little too soon. Give us 2 weeks because I guarantee there's going to be some post-election bullshit. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, well.
And we will see.
That said, if you need your election humor, Monty Python has a YouTube channel, and just today, on this Friday, they posted their election night sketch from 1970, proving that once again, there is nothing new under the sun. It's also still funny. Okay, alright.
So, still, thank you, Priest, who is still pinning in a teacup. Thank you for your question. I do super appreciate that you took the time to think this out, and write it down, and send it to us, because you listened to us, but now is not the time. And with that, we move on to your mother was a hamster and your father was an Umu lover. Call me Umu lover for short. That sounds like a Bond villain. They call me Umu lover. It's now I'm sad. Now I just remember Sean Connery died.
Yeah, oh well.
Well, that's life.
What can you do? He was 90, you know?
Alright. I like it. What is what people having to put their identifiers before things? Intro. This person literally wrote intro.
Yeah, I'll be real, guys. You don't have to. You can just do an alias, then just blob all the text together. But please include the appropriate number of commas.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it all, and if I see a question mark in there, I'm gonna assume it's a question. Adding, okay. Now that I look at this kills me. They asked a question, but they didn't end it with a question mark. Oh wait, yeah, they did. I'm looking at the wrong end. Okay, no, that was my bad. Anyway, they say intro. Hey, love what you do. Hope it continues. Definitely a highlight of my week.
Thanks.
Question. Which SR serving gets the most bang going to MP2? Now, let me tell you all. when I first heard that, I did not think of Bang in the proper context that this question provides, and I went on a little trip for a bit.
Anyway. Sorry, I don't know what's with me today. Maybe it's all the open windows. I'm breathing too much outside. It's finally cool in Florida. We're opening on the windows. I think this is the most I've had outside air in like 6 months.
Mm-hmm. You getting high?
And just when you said trip, I was just like thinking about like dumb trippy cartoons, like Disney acid trip shit. Anyway,
they say you may include relevant overcharge effects, i.e., Nito. Thanks. Which SR servant gets the most bang for buck from going to NP2?
Okay, I'm gonna assume this is a ticket-related question.
Solid
logic. Mm-hmm, there's a lot of people on that ticket. That's gonna be a little hard for us to crunch, even in maximum mailbag time, over mail. Generally, I will say we can probably add some general advice for what you want to look for. Mm. Obviously, NP2 increased damage. All right.
Yeah.
And it increases your overcharge potential. But really, what you're going to look for is what effects actually scale with NP level. Mm. So that's going to be especially damage modifiers are going to be one of those there, right? Like if a servant does like a trait damage and they get more out of it by having more NP levels, that's a big thing. I believe with Nito, her instant death chance goes up, so debuff chances, basically. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look out for servants which don't have any benefit besides damage going up. Like, just as an example, I pulled up Kirki, because she's on Raid Up right now, and she was easy to find. Her NP, for instance, as an SR, doesn't do anything but improve her damage multiplier per NP level. Like, all of her other stuff is overcharge-based, so unless you're going to actually, like, use that overcharge, that won't do anything. Another one, for instance, who has that similar effect is MHXX. Not that she's on the SR ticket, but as another example. Her only increases her damage multiplier. Her damage bonus against sabers is flat, and her attack up is overcharge-based. So that's just something you guys are going to want to watch out for with these things, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Who is truly the bestest?
I don't know. Like, my first thought is like, when in doubt, grab another Saber Altar, but I don't think I think hers is just damage, ain't it?
Yeah, now her damage multiplier is already really spicy, but yeah, it should just be, let me look. NP. Yeah.
Oh, actually, what's Lancelot's fucking...
Ooh, actually, that is a good question. What is his based on? Let me pull him up. I
Saberlot.
Saberlot, but I can also do Berserkerlot.
Ooh, let's see here. So, they do damage, and then... Let's see, it increases its own arts performance, and then... Oh, it does defense down.
Well, increases the damage they take.
Well, yeah.
Based. Yeah, so it doesn't look like any of that scales, for instance. But still, if you got that effect, the damage is good.
Mm.
Oh, and actually, speaking of which, Nitocris's death chance is actually all overcharge-based. Now, obviously, if you get some extra overcharge, that's good, because she jumps from 50% to 62.5% at 200% overcharge. But still, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I think, honestly, support NPs are really good for this. Like, for instance, with doing I don't know what it's from, but Medea Lily, for instance, has either a rank up or an interlude for her NP. Mm. But when you do that, if you get her NP level 2, she goes from 4k heals to 5k heals, which, as is usual, I think we've talked about this in general, the jump from NP1 to NP2 is usually the biggest.
Yes.
Like, for instance, with Medea Lily, 1 to 2 is a full 1,000 extra HP healed. That gets reduced every time, so 2 to 3 is 500, and then 3 to 4 and 4 to 5 are both only 250 to max out at 6k. So yeah, that's the thing in general you want to look for. I don't know a lot of servants in the SR category who straight up have anything other than their damage modified.
I'm gonna do a quick shout out to Atalante because her wait, no, that's on her charge. That's not just fucking MP. God damn it. Hers is just damage otherwise. Fuck.
Yeah, so like mostly, it seems like what, in our brief study, what you're looking for is you're going to get more damage, and you're going to get more overcharge opportunities. So in that case, I would say probably pick a single target, because they already have the biggest multipliers. Mm-hmm. Preferably somebody whose arts are quick, because their multipliers are also the largest, and just go absolute animal with it. Like, Saberlot's not a bad pick.
Lucky's digging. Oh, I don't have Chiron either, I just realized. Derp. Oh, shit.
He's cool.
Shit, I might have to pick Chiron then.
I got a Chiron. He's neat. He does stuff.
Wait, isn't Chiron permanent?
Yes, he is permanent though.
Let's see, stuff go with Edison then. Fuck. Let's see here. Doot. It's overcharge effects.
Yeah, most of these effects that I'm seeing are overcharge based. Like there's a decent number of 5 stars who have their secondary effects scale, but for most units it's just their damage.
Yeah.
Or flat numbers.
Yeah, so I'll probably say go with Saberlot then. Get that chainsaw.
Well, I would say for Steno, that's because she's doesn't do damage, so something has to go up. It's like with Medea Lily. And as a guy with an NP5 Steno, I don't think it's really worth it to go from 1 to 2. You're fine. I still haven't gotten my 8th Steno. Or is it my 9th? I still can't count. I should look at how many rare prisms I have. Because I gotta be real, I don't think other than the one Amiya I've had to yeet, I don't think I've added any rare prisms other than from Steno. I have quite a few SRs at NP5 now, including Amiya, which is gonna make, now about a year and a half, a trip when I get that Unlimited Blade Works upgrade. But yeah, so in general, keep an eye out, and obviously, like I said, the things that usually transition directly is gonna be if they have non-combat NPs. Otherwise, it's just increasing your damage multiplier. But 1 to 2 is the biggest increase. So if you have them all and you want to know, pick somebody good. Pick a single target, preferably for the big damage, and go crazy.
All the dick in your heart.
That's just in general. Like if you're listening to this tomorrow at like noon or something, when it comes out, whatever, and you're wondering yourself, you still haven't picked, and you're looking at us for advice. So we're just going to tell you that follow the dick in your heart.
Mm-hmm. So, your mother was a hamster and your father was an Umu lover. Call me Umu lover for short. Thank you for your question. I hope it gave you some thought. But again, don't kill yourself over it. We're gonna move on to Secret Casino King Bun Bun, who says, "Hope y'all have a great week." Thank you, Secret Casino King Bun Bun. Sometimes short and simple is the way to go. Let's see here. So this next one comes from Star Knight of the Starlight. And they say, question, what story do you like to rewatch or reread the most? For me, I always watch Unlimited Blade Works and Zero Yearly as read the. I'm pretty sure you mean as well as. You need a well as in there, my dude.
Yeah.
Read the Strange Fate manga again whenever a new chapter comes out. And for FGO, it's the Babylonian anime for Best Girl. You can figure out who. Thanks again. For me, the Fate series that I know for a fact that I have watched the most over and over again, Today's Menu with Emiya Family. Simple.
Solid.
It's very solid. Now, I say that as something that I watch fully, like from start to finish constantly. If I just gonna go pop, like, I just want to see some quick shit, I do this like almost like semi-regularly. It's like, I'm just gonna go watch like 5 minutes of this scene from Unlimited Blade Works or from Babylonia because it's like, I need to see that budget go. I'm like, yeah!
Yeah, for me, it is straight up Unlimited Blade Works. Like, that's the thing that I've watched the most of over and over. I have my own to watch, so I watch it. I've watched scenes from Babylonia a lot, like I said, but no, like, I will just sometimes just sit down and be like, I'm gonna watch all of UBW again, because I like it.
Let's see here. If we're talking events, though, I haven't done it, like, recently, but I do occasionally go back. Like, I think it's the CCC event. The CCC event writing is super good. I like going back to it occasionally. And when I need a good cry, I go reread Solomon. That's some shit. I usually cry like 3 times in there. I think for the longest times, I swore my tear ducts were broken because ever since after Solomon come out, my eyes would just start watering up randomly, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with my tear ducts? Did they get weak or something? But nah, it's all better now. So anyway, I think that's it. So thank you, Star Knight of the Starlight, for your question. And we're gonna move on to Pierce the Heavens. Actually, how do you pronounce this? Kalablog. Pierce the Heavens with your Kalablog. And they say, ahoy! No question, just wanted to wish you guys a good week. Well, thank you, Kalablog. I hope you and your Kalablog have a good time. So, thank you, Pierce the Heavens, with your Kalablog. We move on to Ozymandias Pharaoh of Zawado.
Tokyo Tomare. Well, actually, it has already, because Lucky threw away the timer.
6 seconds have passed! Let's see. But they say, what's up, guys? Hope that everything is going well. My question is, aside from Ina, if the Hololive girls became servants, what would you think their classes would be? Well, Kiara would be a writer because she's a fucking chicken, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I mean, she's got a sword and shield. She could be a saber.
I guess. Guar should be a berserker.
Accurate. I mean, Gray's an assassin. Callie works for Death. She should be an assassin. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. And
I mean, with much like with Ina, obviously for reasons. With Amelia, I feel like it's also obvious.
Yeah.
Though I don't know, she's also a doctor. She could be a caster.
Well, I mean, Holmes got moved to. Oh, wait, no.
Holmes started as a caster, but they reclassed him as a ruler, or they lied to us. We don't know. Yeah. We didn't actually see his spirit origin. He just said he was a caster.
He's dodgy in his own way. Actually, fun fact: one of the things that led me on my existential crisis, I found this vintage. There's a difference. Magnifying glass, and I was just thinking, man, that'd be really cool if I could just send it to Amelia and just be like, boom, check out this history. Now you have your own sweet vintage brass 4-inch magnifying glass. But I actually checked out. You can't actually send them fan mail and stuff, but they do not accept secondhand items. And boy, let me tell you, a 50-year-old plus magnifying glass is definitely secondhand.
Absolutely. Unfortunately,
yeah,
that is a shame. It is cool.
Yeah,
maybe you should tweet about it to her. She'll think it's cool.
Maybe I will.
Anyway,
Loth
also brings up a good point. Guargura does have a trident. She could be a lancer.
Oh,
I don't know if she's unlucky enough for that. I believe usually it's Calliope and Kiara who get murdered first.
But I think that answers the question.
In case you don't get the joke, the reason why we say Ina is obvious is because she was designed by the artist who did like half the Foreigners. Just a heads up.
I guess we do need to mention that, I guess. So anyway, thank you, Ozymandio Farov Zawada, for your question. This next one came from, I ran out of names and now I don't have one. Who says, I don't have a question, so I wish you two a good day. Nice. So thank you, I ran out of names and now I don't have one, for your comments. This next one comes from Gahulian God!
Hold on. Before you continue, holy shit, hold on, I gotta check. Is my AC
what?
Just kick in? It's cold in here. Hold on.
Oh no. I wait now.
That's not good. We got windows open. That's wild. I'll double check that later. For the moment, I'm probably gonna freeze though, because I think it was this year or maybe it was late last year, but we got a new AC system installed and it's good. But even though all the windows are open and I think it's cool outside, the AC has apparently decided it's not. So if you hear me shivering or freezing, yeah, like that, that's why. I'll have to look at that later. Maybe close some windows. Anyway, sorry, you were speaking to Gahulian God.
Yes. Hang on. Where is it? Where did I put it? Okay, that's actually a little concerning. Oh, wait, there it is. Hey, there you are. Alright, sorry about that. So, Gahulian God. They say... No, Microsoft, I don't want to... No, fuck off. Fuck off. Sorry, Microsoft is yelling at me. Anyway, question from last week. Question from last week, which would associate it with Oniland. Wait. Hang on. Lucky needs to break the sentence down. Question from last week, which would associated with Oniland.
I believe the word you're looking for between would and associated is B, Mr. Gahulian God.
Okay. Or you could just remove the D from associate, which would associate with Oniland.
Also grammatically correct, yes.
But anyway, when seeing Teatime for the first time, did anyone else besides me thought she would have an Eskimo origin based on her aesthetics alone? At this point, I had no idea who Teatime was. I guess if you're not a weeb and you don't know, you might not know of the fucking
the Ainu people. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're fairly obscure. They have a limited radius. I mean, obviously, like. Interestingly enough, when I see Teatime, I just see Golden Kamui. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was hype at the time, and there's also a new season coming out, so people get the references a lot. But yeah, the Ainu are interesting because they're an indigenous culture to Japan that, like a lot of cultures, They never got their language formalized or written down, so, like, they are kind of obscure. They were oppressed in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Inuit people. I do believe Eskimo is a non-specific and genericized word that we maybe shouldn't use, but I'm not going to throw any stones, because I am not Inuit.
Nope.
And don't live anywhere near them, but I could see the mistake. I didn't have it, like, for the reasons I said, but I could see. I wouldn't be surprised if they are similar, because there are a lot of North Pacific, I think we should say, peoples who come from the same, ethnic backgrounds.
Listen, I live in the Pacific Northwest. Do you know how many fucking tribal names we have around here? It's fucking wild.
It's a lot. There were a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm. We have the Puyallup tribes, we have the Snohomish tribes, technically we have the Muckleshoot tribe, but the Muckleshoot tribe is actually an amalgamation of a bunch of tribes that got pushed together when the white man came in and was like, this is our land now. Get the fuck out. Listen, when I worked at the casino, the Native American run casino, they made sure to let me know all about the history.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no. So like I said, wouldn't be surprised if somebody made that mistaking. I did not, but yeah. It's not exactly the same, but I would say it's kind of the same. It's kind of similar to how there are a lot of Polynesian cultures who are very similar in aesthetics and backgrounds in the South Pacific, because they, came from a collective diaspora. Hey, guys, did you know there used to be a land bridge where you could get from Siberia to Alaska? Wild, I know. And now people are just talking a lot about Shaman King.
Of course they are.
Hey, remake soon.
Yeah, I know remake soon, but man, people love...
That reminds me, I still have not caught up on Yashahime. I should do that sometime. I fell in a hole, okay, guys? I fell in a hole, and I don't know how to build the districts to build my way out of it yet. All I know is that Peter of Russia is a cuck, and he built a giant death robot, and I don't like it. It was like the year 2000. What the fuck, Russia?
That sounds Russia to me. We are Russia. Here's our new robot. It is called Captain Communism.
I don't even know if he was communist. He did have a different government than me. Anyway, I'll tell some Civ 6 stories on WhatsApp, guys.
All right.
Let us move swiftly on.
Yeah, I said not so I said I knew she was it was the Ainu style of dress, but again, like if you don't have that kind of weeb knowledge, yeah, I can understand why you might be a little confused. But anyway, thank you, Gahulian God. Now, let me see if this comes across on the fucking mic. So this next one comes from Alias.
That did, in fact, come across.
Good. Which is a warning. And they say, hey, y'all, hope you're having a great week. Just wanted to say hi and see what Lucky comes up with this week. Regards. I made it quick that time.
I don't think that one picked up. That second one.
Oh, whatever. If the first one picked up, that's all that's matter. Now let me put this back under lock and key.
Anyway, yes, thank you for that cocking noise.
Yes, that was Lucky's gun.
Which I do believe means that technically for YouTube I should probably say there's gun content, but don't worry about the advertising. It's fine. It's casual. It's a sound effect. It's SFX. Foley.
I mean, if I put a explosion in there, I'm not gonna say there's actually, I don't know. What am I saying? I don't even fucking know. Lucky, what do you even? How even?
I like how I don't even have to ask Lucky these questions. Lucky asks himself. Lucky's just like, Lucky, what are you doing? I don't know, Lucky. I'm trying. Okay. We're all trying, Lucky. We're all trying.
We all trying. So this next one comes from guy who's waiting for Omega to continue the stories. And they say, my question is, do you ever think we'll get Albert Einstein, J.R. Oppenheimer, or Marie Curie? I don't know how to pronounce that. As Servants and Fate. Curie. Now,
she's French.
Which one's Marie Curie?
Discover Radiology.
Oh, was that the one with the didn't they
yeah, her husband, whose name eludes me, but they discovered the radioactive properties of radium, X-rays, shit like that.
Okay. I do know that. I'm bad with names.
Don't worry, we're all like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And Oppenheimer, if anybody doesn't remember, was the lead on the Manhattan Project. Which, by the way, for that middle one, I'm going to say absolutely not. In case you guys don't know, Japan has an interesting relationship with the bomb for reasons. Yeah. Honestly, also, Oppenheimer and Einstein, that's World War II. That's probably too late. Curie is she actually developed early radiology for medicine during World War I. So she even set up mobile X-ray labs called Little Curies in ambulances. So we could get medical X-rays on the battlefield. So that's actually, she could be, especially because if you want to talk about mystery, man, radiation is weird. We really didn't understand that one for a long time.
Marie Curie writer win. Her in her ambulance.
That could be one. I could also go with Castor, where she just, like, shoots X-ray laser beams at you, because of course that's what radiation does. Duh.
Real talk, honestly, like, it doesn't have to fucking... You don't have to be a caster for that. I mean, look at Ozzy.
True, that's fair. He has a lot of sunbeams. Also, I'll be real, I don't think anybody who plays Just FTO understands why Ozzy is a writer, because his NP in-game is 2 pyramids.
Again, like, I remember when Voice gave me the fucking side-eye because I said Ozzy was a caster instead of writer. I'm just like, but all of his fucking lore points to him building pyramids and shit. Nothing points to a fucking sunboat.
Like, honestly, the fact that we barely even get into the fact that his extra attack is a sphinx.
Yeah.
It's just his extra attack. Like, yeah, no, okay, riders are the heroic spirit of vehicles and beasts. Okay, cool, I can see that. But the sunboat? We almost never, other than the fact that it shoots those off-screen sun lasers, we never see the fucking boat. It's wild.
It is wild. Anyway. But yeah, no, like I said, like I say writer because, God, man, I try, like, this is when thinking about fan server things, I try to avoid the just pigeonhole everything into a fucking caster.
It's true. It's let me tell you, we'll talk about this later with an unrelated topic, but it's a rough one. I've looked at my own notes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that she does have the ambulances, the little Curies, that's the kind of fact that Fate would dig up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, casters are already weird. We should not necessarily make them any weirder. So obviously Mary Curie should be a saber because she shoots beams. Also, I'm just assuming she shoots beams because, again, radiation. It's like, it's such a weird, unknowable thing. Why would we not? You know?
I imagine that... Honestly, I imagine her rider form would just be like in some sort of scientist outfit, and she's just holding the radioactive isotope in her hand, and it just does things. Because if I remember correctly, didn't she die from radiation exposure?
Yeah, like a lot of people did, because she would carry radium in her pockets and just show it to people.
Perfect. Yeah. No, she just has a handful of radium that just shoots beams. Perfect. DW, fucking send me fucking
pay me.
Yeah, pay me. Done. All right. But I think that's it for that. So thank you, guys, who's waiting for Omega to continue the stories. The next one comes from constantly resetting to get sick on max social link runs. Someone's been playing Persona 3. I know this is a very dumb request, but I want Lucky to call me a mongrel for once. Then afterwards, I can no longer ask for this dumb request again in the mailbag. Okay, hold up. You can always ask me to call you a mongrel, but I'm not gonna do it because I don't know how you want me to call you a mongrel. I'm gonna just be like, mongrel. Is that what you want? Is that what you truly want? Do you want me to make it like slightly mad at you? Do you want me to sound affectionate? There's many ways I can call you mongrel. So I want you to come back next week, tell me how you want how you want me to call you a mongrel, and I'll do it. And if you want to ask every week, I don't give a fuck. Listen. This mailbag is just as much for you guys as it is for me. This is a team effort, y'all. If you want me to say things, go for it. I might get a little weird with it. I might do it a little sassily, but that's what we're here for, right? Right? Yeah. Anyway, they continue. I apologize for the dumb request. It's not dumb, but my mind has been going to lewd imagination purposes over the past few days, and I can't come up with anything else to type for this week's mailbag. What do you want me to call you? Like, I don't know. Can Lucky do a sexy voice? I don't know.
Can you say mongrel sexily? I don't know.
Mongrel. I don't know. Oh,
nothing against Lucky saying that, but I chuckle just because of the context we're in right now.
Yes, mongrel, come to me. I will show you a world of wonder. I don't know. What am I even right now? Lucky,
I don't know.
Stop. Just stop.
It brought me joy. It sparked joy, Lucky. Also, I was going to say, talking about the requests and stuff thing, like, as we have seen with Mailbag, Lucky will do his damnedest to read exactly what you wrote in the mailbag, even if you don't want him
to. Okay. Whew. Yeah, so constantly resetting to get sick on max social runs. I have heard your request. I'll do your request, but next week, tell me how you want me to call you a mongrel, if you still want that.
Or did you get what you need right then? In that,
Who
somewhere, in that.
No, there was a lot of mongrels. Anyway, this next one comes from 6-Wing Butterfly in a Swirling Blizzard. Why are your aliases always like this? I swear you're going for some sort of thing, and I just don't understand it.
You're too galaxy brain. I need you to stop. This
Bring
is
it
a
in.
problem in general many people have in our Discord community. Is sometimes people are trying too hard to big brain. I'm just like, slow your roll, guys. It's okay.
That's like, don't go Galaxy Brain, go System Brain. Go System Brain. System Brain's alright, not Galaxy Brain. That's too big. You're way out there. I can't reach you. Fuck, I can't see you. What is that? You think I'm out there? No, I'm here on Earth. Fuck this shit. This is where the anime is. You go out into that galaxy, there's nothing out there. Fuck you. Anyway, they say, salutations, well wishes to all, but especially Omega and Lucky. Hey! What main day uses do you have for the various essential materials? Personally, Eternal Ice would be keeping me cool 24/7, 365. 365/25. Wait.
I think that's a joke about how years are weird. Did you know we have drift in time because our year isn't exactly 360?
Oh yeah,
5
leap
days
years.
long?
See, this is what I'm talking about being big brain. It's like, why do we have to add a decimal point for leap years?
Everybody understands about how years work, guys. Calm down.
Anyways, all the best. Hopefully by the time I'm here in mailbag, I won't be struggling with my SR pick. Face with pie. Pie face.
Kind of an pie face. But also, seriously, it's T Pi T. Again, the galaxy brain. I feel like we've actually joked about this one before. That would have been a long time ago. If you guys have never looked up the fluff behind Ascension materials, some of them are horrifying, but some of them are just funny. Like the Eternal Ice, which is just cold.
It's just cold, yo. Actually, can I
It's
look up an
permafrost.
Ascension item list? Let's see here.
There should be some kind of list somewhere.
Let's see here. We got Ghost Lanterns. Lanterns that use souls to burn, as fuel to burn. Well, that'll go out fucking quick. Dracio Seeds. Let's see here. Atop of Twin Crystals. Phoenix Plume. Snake Jewels. Homunculus Babies.
We don't need those. It's fine.
Meteoric Horseshoe. Forbidden Page. Listen to this. A page which nobody should ever read, usually mixed in as the first or last page. Well, let's see here. Infinity Gears, Knight's Medals, Seashells, Magatamas, Eternal Ice, Giant Rings, Soaps. That's it, we are in those were the silver. Where's the bronze one? Where's the fucking bronze one? Hang on.
They're in there somewhere. I love some of these.
Hang on. Unlucky Bones, Void Dust, Heroes Proof, Dragon Fangs, Chains of the Fool, Stinger of Certain Death, Magical Cerebral Spinal Fluid.
By the way,
actually, this is
Lucky
interesting.
is reading the old translations of the names.
Yeah.
This
This one's interesting. According to its description, magical cerebral fluid is a potion to turn an ordinary human into a mage. When injected to the spine, it creates temporary artificial magical circuits. Wild.
I do believe somebody brought that up when we were talking about magic circuits somewhere. But yeah, no, the spinal fluid is weird.
Mhm.
There's the Stakes of Wailing Night.
Yep, stake driven into a corpse to prevent a reanimation. Stimulus gunpowder. Dude, man, honestly, why aren't we using this for some fucking badass stuff? Listen to this stuff. Custom-made gunpowder that ignites when the user focuses magical energy into it. Says it can generate a massive amount of firepower with only a small amount of magic energy. It's widely utilized as ammunition to hunt demonic beasts. Why is this my first time fucking hearing about this?
It's not actually. This is what they were doing in Lost But 1, remember? They said their guns were lightly magical.
Oh.
I assume that's also why they came up with the item, because that was introduced in LB1.
Interesting. Wild. We need this technology.
I mean, Goldorf has an alchemy gun. I bet it works on similar principles. It would be weird though, and also because Japan has also got a weird relationship with guns. But if Gudauer just pulls out a gun at the end, like we're confronting the final enemy, and instead of just punching them like we did with Geetia, we just pull out our fucking gun.
I'm a fixin' to defend myself.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Let's see here. Gold. Because I'm only going up to what we have.
I'm a time cop, but clack clack. Also, no, yeah, if you look at the later materials, one of the future golds, I believe it is just a fucking stand arrow. Or is it a bronze? It might be a lower tier one. There's absolutely just the fucking stand arrows, though, is one.
Yeah, I'm not seeing getting gold.
Okay, it's silver, alright. We'll see that later.
Actually, looking at the future one, there's one called the Tsukumo Mirror. I'm like, that's weeb. I like that. Give me
Yeah, they
that.
added that one back in. The mirrors are cool. I mean, in terms of mundane use, mysterious divine wine, precious wine viewed over a long time to be offered to the gods. It can intoxicate even monsters, demonic beast. Listen, I've played Okami. I know that's good shit. Though, to be fair, just slight spoilers, but one of the future Ascension materials is the Fig of Immortality.
Oh, wow.
Like, literally, eat fruit, be immortals. That could be a wild one.
Let's see here. Oh, actually, I'm looking at it. The body of those who ate this fruit would be void of any changes. While the same thing as becoming an immortal being, it also means you become a servant of the gods for eternity. Wild. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I would have to think about it, but... Oh, what the fuck?
What's up?
Dawnlight Reactor Core. A power reactor shining like the sun at dawn. Based on fundamental immortal technology, there are secrets remained as mysteries that cannot be elucidated with modern sciences or modern magic. So we have some fucking black box power core. Let me just hook up all my electronics to that shit.
Yeah, we'll, semi-spoilers, but we'll see. I believe that drops with LB3, so we'll see why they have those later. Yeah.
Actually, that makes sense.
Honestly, a lot of these are fairly well associated with where they come from, right? Like, okay, vodka hydras dropped into mysterious divine wine is a little weird, but like the primordial lanugo, like a piece of burning fur, that was Babylonia, I believe. The lamps of evil sealing and Camelot kind of stuff. The scarabs of wisdom.
Usually on point.
And some of the, like, most Ascension materials are gross, but they got a lot of interesting stuff. You could probably do something with Eternal Gears, because they're apparently perpetual motion machines. Once you start turning them, they don't stop. Some are dumb, like Night Metals and Hero Proofs are just what they say they are.
Alright, but we'll leave it at that.
Anyway, like we said, you should read the descriptions of mats sometimes. It's a trip. There's a lot of hidden lore there.
There is. So thank you, Six-Winged Butterfly and a Swirling Blizzard. We're going to move on to Evedrol Denarovias. I have no idea what that fucking means. Hang on. Google?
Did I just say something racist?
Did I?
I don't think so. I'm just joking. As you said, we have no idea what the fuck that was.
Oh, wait. I got it. It's Savior and Lord fucking Dave, backwards.
Ah, we've caught him. We've caught the Daves. Wait, hold on a minute, Fue. What have you tweeted?
Oh no, Fue tweeted something? Fuck, hang on. Stop everything.
Nope, hold on. Yep, stop the presses.
Stop the press. Fue.
That's a full-blown retweet, guys. We got a full-blown retweet situation.
Yep, nope, that's good shit. Retweeting that. Listen, Fue has been a fucking mad lad recently.
Well, I mean, it's FGO Arcade's fault. They gave him power. They powered him up directly.
They did.
Like, they're the fucking Earth, and he's the spirit bomb right now.
Oh god, the butt one though.
Though I have heard some slight, possibly concerning news that Sega is like fully getting out of the arcade business.
Yeah, no, they I did see a news article on that.
Yeah, like they're planning on selling the business off, so that probably means definitely no more FGO Arcade machines for a while. And we don't know what that will do to updates. Like if
actually, I don't know if it means they're going to stop production of arcade machines, but I think what it says they're giving up the management of arcade locations.
Yeah, that could be fair. That could just be that they're going to license the locations as well. That might slow the growth.
And because of that, and since the arcade ownership will change, like the smaller ones might shut down and whatnot.
Which is sad, but that just happens with the industry sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but with all that FNAFery out, or as they like to say in the biz, frivolity, they say, do you have any Grails Bronze Servants, or do you plan to grail any of the new ones? Unfortunately, nothing against Bronze Servants, but I have to have a resounding no. Most of my Grails are already reserved for, from certain people and whatnot. Like, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Bunyan. Just because I love Bunyan. She's great. She's cute. Another one I'd probably pick, Asterios, because he's great, and I love him, and he's fluffy. Bronze specifically. If I was going to pick a third, Blackbeard, because he's Brobeard.
But you only got so many Grails.
Like I said, I still have a Tamamoto Grail, and I got a fourth one coming eventually? Question mark?
Yeah, I don't know. If we get next time we get a half AP dailies, I will probably go ahead and feed at least a couple of Grails to Summer Ishtar. Because I need to juice her up. I mean, so I'll say, I have not grailed any bronzes. I might grail Gareth. We don't know. We'll see. But that's in the future.
Future!
Bronzes are not high on my list. Usually I I have grailed Mordred, I have grailed Ishtar, I have grailed Aresh. I will grail Space Ishtar. So, like, I know what I'm about.
Like, honestly, if we get the 4th Tamamo and I have grails, I'm probably going to start moving on to the Sakura faces at that point, which I have a lot of. Jesus.
That's because there's a lot. We've done this conversation before. There's a lot of Sakura faces.
Yeah.
They're not all played by Sakura's VA, but there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, thank you, Avadro Dina Rovias. Next one comes from page 404, not found. Who says, "No question, just hope you all have a good week. Thank you, not found. This which brought to you from page 404, not found."
Much error, much not found.
Mm-hmm. So this next one comes from might not be much, but it's on its courts. And they say, "What servant are you unable to make work even though they are arguably good? Example, when I use support Tamamo, everything is fine. When I use my Tamamo, she just die."
That's gonna be a big RIP there.
That's a big rip.
But yeah, no, I can understand that sentiment. Let me think. Do I have any servants I
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of
no
like
one
a strategy.
jumps out to me.
No.
I feel like I've definitely had that experience before in a limited fashion, right?
Yeah, I can't say I've had it happen inconsistent. There's just been moments like, all right, my entire strategy hinges on this one moment, and they're dead. Great.
Yeah.
But nothing comes to mind particularly. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about that image. Like I said, I usually focus on a lot of art mains, so that means I usually have a Tamamo, which means she's usually popping her MP and keeping things alive. Usually I think I feel betrayed is when I'm trying to do damage and I'm always feeling like I'm 2k short and it's like, well, here comes something wrong in my life. But I don't think I've ever actually had something never particularly not work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I'm still fine tuning the strat, but once I usually get locked in, it usually fires off fucking fine. So unfortunately, I don't think I have a proper answer for you. I apologize.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about it. It's so freezing. I don't actually think there's anybody long term that I've been like, I just don't know how they're working. Like, there have been units where I'm like, I maybe don't have the best setup for this, but like, there's nothing quite like what they're describing, which is like, oh, my unit has bamboozled me at the last minute or anything.
Well, okay, so this might not be exactly what you're thinking about, but I will say there is a unit that I probably have a little bit that I want to use a lot more, but I don't necessarily have this space, is Nightingale. I love my Nightingale. I love her kit, I love her NP, I love her attacks, but the fact that she's a healing berserker means she's basically at odds with herself almost.
Yeah, she has a very weird place, and I think we haven't gotten all of her potential future upgrades and stuff either.
So, as much as I like Nightingale's character and all that stuff, I don't use her a lot because it's hard for me to slot her in because she will die very quickly and not be able to get cleansed. She doesn't have a lot of ways to keep herself alive unless she pops, I think her only real defensive skill is understanding of the human body, which only is against humans, which is fair enough, a fair amount of a lot of things, but still, there's things outside that.
Yeah.
And like I said, even though she's very buster based, she doesn't really necessarily mesh well with Merlin because she's not all about damage MPs and whatnot. So
yeah, that's definitely Nightingale is definitely more of a support type unit who happens to be Berserker, which is weird.
Yeah.
And she will get some refinements, like they've powered up her NP to make her even more comprehensive, etc. Like there's stuff that will be done there. It's still a little weird, still a little finicky. They're working on it.
It's I love my Nightingale. I really do. I should. Yeah. So with that, we move on. So thank you. Might not be much, but it's on squirts. We now can move on to Carrier of the Umu virus, infecting the world with Padoru. Lucky I almost had to throw down when it wasn't even Halloween and people were already starting the Padoru trend. I'm like, guys, please, fuck, Jesus. Which
in of itself became part of the joke.
Yeah. I can't say shit after Halloween. I honestly can't. I went to the store the other day. We already got Christmas decorations up. I'm like,
oh yeah, no, everybody's doing it.
Everyone's doing it. So yeah,
it's happened.
No, but that's my hard rule. Before Halloween, no. Before Halloween, it's the fucking skeleton army.
That should be everybody's hard rule. It isn't sometimes, but it should be.
Yeah. Before Halloween, it's skeleton army. After Halloween, it's Padoru. I even put a little Padoru emote in the Discord. It's just the standard Padoru.
There's only much like there's only so much you can do about the other thing. There's only so much you can do with the other stuff because there's 5 billion Padorus, but we can't do them all. We don't have the space for it.
Mm-hmm. So on to the actual question. Dear Lucky Omega, hope your rolls for Abby went well. If you did roll for her, my question for this week is simple: Which of the remaining singularities work better as an anime like Babylonia, or better as a movie like they're doing for Camelot? And remember, it's always time for Padoru. What did I just fucking say?
Mm-hmm. Listen, don't take the fact that I'm Padoru Claus right now, and I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh monster whose name is Santa Claus, with claws, like, as any kind of indictment. I only did that as a joke because of things people were doing. I will probably change to something else later.
But let's see here. Singularity. You specifically say singularity.
Yeah, which of the remaining singularities?
Which one?
I mean, honestly, since they decided they're not doing them all in order as a series, probably most of them would do better in shorter form.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me see. I mean, they compressed Camelot to 2 movies. You could probably compress America to 1 or 2 movies.
Yeah, I'd say America would be good as 2 movies. Actually, I think, but on the other hand, I think Okeanos might be good as a fucking series. Really highlight that adventure aspect. I would even like take in some filler plot as, they're just sailing around doing pirate shit.
Yeah, you could do a lot with the pacing of writing it like a serial.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, like, I think America would be best suited to we're just going to dump the whole fucking plot on you.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, I think that if they were going to do Septum, they should do it as a short OVA or movie, and not give themselves more fluff, because honestly, Septum needs to be trimmed. Like, if they were going to redo that, which I don't know if they will, because the Japanese are weird about revisiting stuff sometimes, right? At least most of the otaku Japanese writing culture I've seen, right? Like, anime and light novels and stuff are like, sometimes we're like, oh, I'll rewrite this story 5 times, and otherwise it's like, oh, we won't ever talk about that anymore. So, if they did it over, yeah, I would say they should give themselves the benefit of not having a long leash and, like, really try and refine that down to core bullet points and give less room for faffing, because that's probably where Septum got most of its hit with, was just the fact that it had a lot of unfocused greebles, basically.
Now, if we're talking like non-story, like non-main singularity, I would love to see a Seraph adaptation. Unfortunately, I don't know what would be the best format for it. I really don't. I feel like it wouldn't be a 2-season like Babylonia, but I'm pretty sure they can make it either 2 movies or a 13-season anime, and probably make it pretty good. But other than that, I don't know. I rightly don't know. Anyway, I do believe that is it for that question. So thank you, carrier of the Umu virus infecting the world with Padoru. We move on to... Oh no, it happened. And they say, "Dear Lucky Nomega, this is going to be a weird one, so I'm just going to get straight to the point. Do servants poop or pee? Do they need to? Which goes around to they need to breathe. Can they survive in space? Also, what do you think happens to Ophelia's dead body? Again, personal thoughts and opinions are fine. Be comfy."
Why are you telling me to be comfy with this question? Also, the answer, I'm pretty sure, is no.
No.
They don't
Remember,
do any of that stuff.
Technically, servants are nothing more than just constructs of magical energy. They don't even need to eat or breathe in the first place.
Yeah. It is discussed. Hey, we've done this on past Teach Me's, by the way. Mm-hmm. It is discussed that servants can recover magical energy from eating, and I would assume breathing, just because that's part of the natural process. That's part of how alive humans generate magical energy. But no, they don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. Like, they are not really alive, just they have simulacras of physical bodies that can be harmed.
I will say, if there's a servant who's like tracking backstories, they died they drowned at the end. They probably don't want to go into the water regardless. But
yeah, but I don't think there's any I don't think we've ever seen any requirement. No mention that servants have to breathe or anything. I don't know if they could survive in outer space, because outer space is outer space. There's nothing in it. There's
no mana either, so
yeah, that's what I mean. There's definitely no mana in there, but yeah, it's open to interpretation.
Well,
that said, if there was a servant just like chilling on the moon, we'd be shocked.
Kaguya
moons.
So
I know what Lucky wants to pick for the tiebreaker.
But yeah, also I was thinking about Voyager, but technically Voyager isn't actually alive. Voyager is literally a fucking space probe. Space probes don't breathe.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Oh no, what happened? I hope that answered your question. So, this is the last one. Hey! This one comes from Moon. Just that, nothing else. They say, "Hey guys, so after the episode where you explained the lore behind magic circuits in Great Teal, it got me wondering. Good, as it should. Since unlike magic, homunculi have more circuits Since unlike magic, homunculi have more circuits, so much so that they're used as magic batteries. Okay, that is grammatically correct. Question.
There was a double space in there, though.
Mm-hmm. How much do they approximately have? I'm guessing over 50 or something. I couldn't find an exact number. Another guess I've had is that it's probably determined by the mage who makes them, but I don't know. Sorry for the long question. Have a great day/evening.
I like how they call it a long question. It's not really that long. However, I'm going to be real. If you couldn't find a number, we probably can't find a number. Because that probably means there isn't one. But let me check.
Like, if I remember, Ilya is a fuck ton of magic circuits and fucking... And wasn't she covered in the command seal too, as well?
Yeah, she's got special circuits and command seals. Though I noticed that she's not listed here when they talk about them. So the average magus has 20 circuits. We know that Rin is at about 40. And Luvia Edelfelt has like 100 magic circuits, but that's because her family has multiple crests, so she gets multiple added, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Ilya as explicitly called out. So I don't know. I can check if it says anywhere about homunculi, if they talk about their magical circuits. Nope.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, so I'm seeing some high level stuff. Just think of it this way. Here's a good quote, stealing from a future level, a future teach me. But fundamentally, a homunculus is not. It should not be said something that was created to be a mage. It's something created to be a magic circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So, they are artificially created to have them. So, they have a lot, probably. The output is probably good, because that's what they're there for. That said, I think I do actually, while I was scrolling for double-checking this answer, I think I do have a good answer for, that might be, one for the whole designer baby question. Besides just that thing I just said. Because, that's another thing to talk about. I don't think MASH has good magic circuits. Because she's never seen doing magic or magecraft. But another thing is that I noted while I was skimming them about their magic circuit count was that homunculi are artificially created and without any use of a womb. Whereas I don't know if there would be artificial wombs or surrogacies in designer babies cases. But at the very least, they would still involve human body parts that come from humans. Mm-hmm. So that's probably another key defining factor.
Yeah, just think of that first episode of Apocrypha with the homunculi and the vats.
Yeah. Was MASH a full-blown test tube baby in a vat? We don't know, but at the very least, she's got some human bits in her. She's a designer baby, so use the human genome. A lot of people, I don't know if you've ever talked about this, before it was revealed, a lot of people thought MASH was a homunculus because of her odd hair color and weirdness.
I remember. Yeah. I remember it being discussed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that even back in the OG, that was a question mark a lot of people had. But no, Natsu was like, haha, you thought it was this, but it was this. How are those different? I'll tell you later. Yeah. Natsu's a tiny mushroom. He probably has a gremlin voice. Yeah. Or she, we don't know. Yeah. Mushroom. Yeah, but that's my high level. If you can't find a number, I can't find a number kind of thing. I don't think they've ever specified. I would say though, as we know that they have a lot of them, twice average is probably a good start point. I don't know if you even want to push that further. Maybe we don't know if they have a quantity that goes even higher. That said, as you noted, it probably does depend on the style of homunculus and the craftsmanship. Because we know that Sieg, for instance, was a homunculus produced with an exceptional high quality and density of magic circuits. Whereas there were other homunculi produced by Dig Millennia who were not as good. So it might even be in just the growth process. As we know, magic is not science. But yeah, I think that answers that question.
Yeah, I think that answers that question. And with that question answered, thank you, Moon. Just that, nothing else. We are done. That is all of Mailbag this week. Huzzah!
Yep. So that's Mailbag. All right, we did a full Mailbag.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the show. We've got some post-bit wrap-ups here. Got a couple of things to throw out. But yeah, that's the major meat of it.
Meat.
We will probably not be so full. But anyway. Let's talk about those little bits of business.
Yep.
So I did finally post both Patreon polls. Yes, there are 2 polls. In case you forgot. The first one is Teach Me Mega Sensei, which is what is homunculus and what are holy swords / demonic swords? Because that was what we talked about. And like I said, I could turn those into topics. Those will be up for a while. Because there was some delay, I did shorten that a little to make sure that I got enough time to do the research and pick what day to do it on. Because November's kind of a weirdly shaped month. Like we're on the first of the 4 Fridays right now, and so it kind of makes it a little awkward with the placement of the polls and stuff. That's my bad, obviously. Like I said, fell in a sieve hole. But I wanted to make sure I had enough time. That said, we got 13 votes, and it is super heavily weighted towards holy swords, demonic swords. I don't know if that will shift over the next few days. So there you go. But if you want to vote, back us on Patreon at the 5 and up level, and you too can join the polls. The second poll is the pilot program for Fanservant Friday. Because we talked about that a couple of times last month, the idea that people would be interested in hearing our, probably mostly mine to start, but our ideas on fanservants and stuff.
Listen, Lucky has ideas, but I don't go through the... Mega goes down, he writes down I like once in a while I like going through Mega's servant document, and he puts a lot of thought into his servants. Lucky's just
when I work on this project, I work on this project. So yeah. I have a decent resource to pull from.
Yeah.
So I decided to pick and choose 4 to start with. I don't know if it'll stay at 4 per poll or whatever. I phrased this as I will talk about my ideas, and then Lucky will comment on them, read, yell about them. So the topic will be resolved sometime for the end of the month. I did include classes in the poll. Again, you can... I don't know if you can see the options, but I can read them to you. So I decided to go with... I have a bunch of ideas I could pick from. I decided to go, though, with 4 that I think fit some of the themes we talked about lately, especially throughout October. So the 4 options are Kaguya-hime, Foreigner, King Lycan, Berserker, because we talked about Wolfman stuff. Sorry about that, sneeze. Linanshi, Caster, because we talked about fairies. And I'm sorry, I have a type. And then lastly, Mina Harker, Wilhelmina Harker, Assassin, because we also talked about more Bram Stoker's Dracula stuff. So I was like, this will be a good balance. It's pretty even right now. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed that unfortunately Linanshi is trailing, but got at least a couple of votes. And this one will run slightly longer than the Teach Me. I've given it the full 2 weeks. So plenty of time to make sure that you get in there and get your vote counted. And I'll kind of figure out my rough formatting, and this will probably be a mix of like story time, like defining the lore of a character, and also then I will say it will be a mix of, what would we even call it? I guess it would be not speculation, not quite fan fiction, but like comparing to other lore concepts. Like if Kaguya gets picked, I have some interesting things I found, some lore bits that make great Fate lore, TM, capital L kind of stuff, right?
And so Lucky's over here.
Fair amount
Lucky's over here, just like bunny ears.
There'll be a fair amount of counterbalancing that kind of stuff. With a little bit of focus on the Fate mechanics, not like full-blown, like, what would they do in FGO kind of stuff, but we could theoretically discuss, like, what similarities they have to FGO characters. Lucky talked about, bunny ears. Like, there might be some comments about interesting aesthetic things, but that's not the focus. Like, the focus will mostly be on, who is this character, why should you care, and then, what weird stuff could we do in Fate? Mostly from my perspective, because I'll have done a lot of the legwork, but if we, do future stuff, we can do other people's legwork, too. And generally kind of present these ideas and see what people think about them, if they have their own thoughts, opinions, etc., and go from there.
Like I said, if I have to do a tiebreaker, I will go with Kaguya, because I figured out, I actually made a thanks to a Persona 3 screen cap, I actually thought about something interesting and might want to talk about it a little bit. So definitely that's what I'll be voting for if there's a tiebreaker. If there has to be a tiebreaker.
And currently, we've got more votes in this poll, probably because it's higher up on the list. Got 15 total. Where Kaguya and King Lycan are tied, with Mina Harker trailing a little bit behind, and unfortunately, Linanshi in last. I don't know if this will be like Teach Me, where these will be persistent every month. Like, I'll keep the same 3 who don't lose and shuffle in a new one. I don't know. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff I can pull from for a while, and we'll just see how it works. Because again, we're piloting, because some people did actually say they'd be interested in hearing more of this stuff, so we'll see if it pans out.
We will see.
And I think that's everything to do with that bit of business. Close down Patreon. So that's the meat of the show. We are going to be in almost 2 hours raw, especially because we're going to blather in the outro. Next week we should, depending on when that stream is, probably watch the archive. I do sub to the FGO official YouTube channel, so I'll see it when it pops. So depending on what happens then, we'll definitely know more in the middle of this week. Hopefully that will come out. It'll probably have a banner. We'll also probably know exactly what we're doing next in North America, so we can talk about it. Will it be a rerun? Will they pop Lost Belt 3 early? We don't know. There's a lot of hoops to go through with Lost Belt 3, though. Like you said, they have a pre-release campaign, there's the actual Part 1 banner, and there's a second part banner, so like there's multiple bits and bobs that need probably a good 3 weeks to clear. So it'll be interesting where they find that time. But yeah. Also, I should let everybody know that technically it is possible that I might be destroyed once again by nature, because even though it's November, Mother Nature hasn't stopped. There is Tropical Depression Eta out there. That's right, we're on Greek letters. That said, current projections are a little wibbly, so that won't be a problem for me until like Monday, Tuesday, probably, and we'll see if it is. But just everybody, hey, hang out, stay safe. It's gonna slam to Cuba and do weird shit, so we'll see what happens. I'll try not to get, flattened by a hurricane again. As you do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't hear from me or if I have to miss stream day, that's why.
Ooh, yeah.
For a while anyway, guys, fair warning, because we were talking about it in the live chat, I won't be taking, just pre-filtered suggestions and stuff for a while, or, other stuff, I have a significant enough backlog that I can kind of, find my voice for this.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet you, gremlin face. I appreciate you listening live, but don't sass me. But yeah, there is some decently... I have a decent enough material to work with that I think I would want us to find our voice over first and then, pivot to other stuff. Kind of like with Teach Me took a while to settle in. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to do, and then it was like, okay, well, we're running out of topics that I came up with. What do you guys think? Kind of thing. So we shall see. But I think that is everything to do in the show. Lucky, do you have any other FGO thoughts and feelings you want to communicate right now?
Nope. No thoughts, mind empty.
All right, well, then let's just do the outro. All right, Robin, come on. You can exchange it in about an hour and 15 minutes. Shut the fuck up. I already did this bit. You weren't here. You were asleep. Shush you. Future Robin, be sure to call yourself out in the time codes, as this is the part where you got sassed. Thanks, Future Robin.
Mm-hmm.
High fives all around. All right. So, I'm going to do the outro, which starts a little something like this. If you like this video, and you're watching it on YouTube, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Love your comments, guys. You can also hit us up on our Discord. That link, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. Great place to get in touch with people and things. Follow us, watch stuff, be in things. And, of course, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you always know when we post a new video. And consider hitting that bell for notifications so when it actually gets posted, you're notified. So when you're not even looking at it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, sometimes we post videos at weird times. We do weird streams. We do stuff. You want notifications so you know. Especially because I've already seen... This has happened to several channels, but I don't know what YouTube's doing, but they've been weird about displaying some videos lately. So you always want to make sure if you dial up those notifications, follow us on social media, all that shit, you'll know. You'll know when stuff happens, okay? All right. And of course, you can also join our channel, join memberships.
Mm-hmm. Do the stuff.
Sorry, people always interrupted my flow. That's why we say maybe I don't want to do those things, because you keep asking about it. Am I a trained monkey? Well, I am, because I do know my exact output for this outro, where the next bit, where after channel membership, is where I remind you that, of course, like I said at the front of the show, you can support us on Patreon. You can join us on Patreon and get audio downloads early for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year. And it really helps us out, and it supports us and our future endeavors. Plus, at higher levels, stuff like voting in those polls I mentioned, all kinds of other fun stuff. Check it out. That is Let's Talk FGO this week. I already know what the name is. Now I just gotta make my own thumbnail. All right, everybody, let's go. Goodbye.
Yeah.